Banks are 100% in crypto. We're going to confirm that today. Buckle up.
I ain't gonna give in now. I just gotta live this now. I'm gonna be when I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the win. Cause I am just up on the journey. Just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Grand rising. Good evening, warriors all over the world. From my heart to yours, I love you. I want to start out by saying what my mission is. My mission is to free as many human beings from this indoctrination system and financial system as possible. There will never be a time like this in our human history again. From now to around March 18th, 2024, it's the greatest time in human history to build wealth. When everybody's freaking out about the bear market looking this way, this is the opportunity of a lifetime right now. The Bitcoin halving will be around March 18th, 2024. And you will have about 18 months of a massive bull run. And in my opinion, around 2025, the market will normalize again. So this is a once in a lifetime opportunity right now. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways you can get involved with my community to support you through this. We've helped over 5,000 warriors worldwide navigate since 2020. So on the back end of this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways you can get involved so you don't get left behind. So we're going to dive in today. So I want to be the person who kind of pulls you up to the 30,000 foot overview. I show the macro and microeconomics. Now remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I spent about 10 years in banking. Me and my CFO combined about 22 years in banking. I went to CBA Executive Banking School. I learned how to scale banks, and I spent 8 to 9 hours a day researching macro and microeconomics and cycles. My brain looks forward and backwards and connects the dots and can see what's actually happening, not what they're saying, but what they're actually doing. And so I've always said to you guys that the Ripple versus SEC case was thrown out against the top well-run crypto company in the world in order to bring in new regulation. For this moment in time in 2023, 2022 is the destruction to show you crypto's a fraud, to prove to you that you need regulation. FTX collapsed, Celsius collapsed, stablecoin collapsed. All at the same time they were talking about regulation. At the same time, they're all piloting central bank digital currencies. 2023, this Ripple SEC case will end. We'll get a new Howey test. They'll figure out who's going to regulate it. And then banks will get the green light, which I'm going to show you, to come in and custody your cryptocurrency. Okay. It all happens lockstep every single time. So this came out yesterday. Ripple Congress must examine the SEC's role in the recent crypto contagion. With the recent collapse of BlockFi, FTX, regulation by the enforcement approach of the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, the SEC, when it comes to crypto has been called into question by industry representatives, policymakers, and crypto consumers alike. The SEC continues to elevate its own quest for power and sound policy. On the hands of another crypto bankruptcy, did the self-proclaimed top crypto cop, which would be Gary Gensler, make things better or worse? Congress has the authority and, more importantly, the responsibility to oversee the SEC. Here's the problem, though, with FTX exposed, is we know Congress and a lot of these people are sitting with these companies, okay? So anytime there's money, there's going to be power. I believe these all moves are happening in order to move us to where we're going. BlockFi, a New Jersey-based business that allowed customers to earn interest on their crypto and deposits, said that's a big narrative. We're earning interest, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in just a moment. Has filed for bankruptcy. FTX, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange based in the Bahamas, had filed for bankruptcy 2 weeks earlier. These filings revealed that BlockFi and FTX had significant financial exposures to each other. Federal prosecutors have now charged FTX former CEO with widespread fraud, while analysts of the events don't suggest that BlockFi was complicit in whatever FTX was up to. How BlockFi and FTX ended up in the interwinds financially, the role the SEC may have played, is worth examining. Okay, so everybody's pointing their finger at the SEC as the SEC is pointing their finger at everybody else. Okay, so crypto firm Genesis and Gemini charged yesterday, Thursday evening, came out on January 12th, charged Gemini with selling unregistered securities. We're here, fam. This is it. This is where the regulation comes in. We will get institutional adoption when regulation comes in. I'm just going to say this openly. This is the greatest time right now. People are going to miss this opportunity because all of you guys are being trained by these YouTubers to be in the bull market and get rich. That's when you get wrecked. In 2024 and 2025, if this stuff goes up, you need to pull profits. You need to have an exit strategy, dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out. Okay. We can't get caught at the top in 2025. You got to get money out of this market. This is the regulation. We want it to get ugly. You want the prices to go down. Well, I don't want to say we want the recession, but it's the greatest time in human history to become wealthy. Asset prices are very low. So crypto firms Genesis and Gemini are being charged with the SEC for selling unregistered securities. So here it comes. Okay. So I want to share with you. Okay. So the SEC is being looked at as fraud, and the SEC is looking at all these crypto exchanges as fraud. Hence telling you where we're going to regulation after the Ripple SEC case. Okay, this is pretty cool. This came out from Ripple. This was on January 10th, 2023. And I want to focus on a certain part of this. And I want to give you facts, figures, numbers, logic. Remember, we got intrinsic value investments. Okay, stay focused on what matters in blockchain. Institutions double down on blockchain. This is from Ripple. Greater utility also lies in the root of the continued institution adoption of crypto and blockchain. Ripple SVP and managing director of APAS Brooks believes concerns around liquidity will continue to weed out the crypto companies that have relied on hype cycles, and compares the evolution of the dot-com bubble, which showed similar cases of rapid growth, inevitable crash in industry macerations like destruction. Despite the market downturn, Cindy Young expects institutions to accelerate long-term adoption of crypto solutions because of the potential gains in its efficiency, transparency, and speed. Remember, if you're on the Warrior call, the private call last week, which I'm going to show you how to get involved, or yesterday, as I talked about boom and bust cycles. Same as the internet boom, same as the auto boom. It's the same boom and bust cycle, okay? Banks and other large financial institutions will invest in new technologies with an expectation of realizing the benefits, not in the days and weeks, but in the years, so that we can embrace the digital asset of blockchain continuing throughout 2023 and beyond, she says. Okay, this is important right here. This has already been sustained by firms like Barclays, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, MasterCard, Morgan Stanley, SBI, Visa, all pursuing blockchain-related projects. From crypto custody and trading to payments and trade execution, the question for banks, pay attention, is no longer if they have a crypto strategy, but rather what is the strategy and how do they execute it? Let me read that one more time for the people in the back. Okay. The strategy is no longer should we have a strategy, but rather what is the strategy and how do we plan to execute that strategy? I've been telling you since 2020, banks are getting into crypto. And yes, I do have insight into the banks. I was deep in the banking system, a VP at the bank. And yes, banks are moving into cryptocurrency, blockchain, distributed ledger technology, and on-demand liquidity. If they don't, they will perish. Well, we know that Ripple, this is some old news here, but I want to refresh. A lot of you guys are new to the channel. But back on 11/02/2020, when all this stuff was happening with the C word, as we all look this way, Ripple, a company based out of San Francisco, we know Ripple Labs, right? They set up an LLC in Wyoming. You think, man, beautiful Wyoming, just, roaming land. Why would they set up in Wyoming? Wyoming is the most crypto-friendly state in America, okay? And this came out in 2022, where it says patience wear thin in Wyoming. And the reason why I bring that up, the LLC, is because Ripple will be a bank. I promise. I shouldn't say I promise. Ripple will be a bank. That's what I believe. Patience wears thin in Wyoming as crypto banks await Fed approval. Okay. Super important to pay attention to these narratives. So they're starting to sit back. There's a Wyoming Special Depository Institution, state chartered banks that can custody digital assets and provide banking services to crypto-related businesses, have almost everything they need to go live. This is in 2022. They have reached state bank charters, built infrastructures, and hired people in March, received their ABA routing numbers. Okay, think about that. They have received their ABA. They're ready to go. So people say, when's the flip? It's already been flipped. We're waiting for regulation, hence the Ripple versus SEC case. SEC threw out a case against the most well-run company so that they can come up with a really solid strategy. You see where the game is going? It's already set, Warriors. And this is a time, if you get fudded out, you're going to regret this the rest of your life, okay? Right here. Okay, so this is now 2022. This was 2020, April 2022. This was August 15th, 2022. US Fed opens pathway for crypto banks to tap central bank systems. So they were waiting for the Fed's central bank, okay, allows crypto banks to tap into the system with what's called a master account, okay, with what's called a master account. So this is the actual document here. So August 15th, the Federal Reserve Board announced final guidelines to establish a transparent, risk-based, and consistent set of factors for reserve banks to use and review requests to access federal accounts and payment services. So it goes through here. In here, it doesn't say anything about crypto. I dove into this document, read through the whole thing. But what we're seeing is the Feds, the central bank now has what's called a master account. Okay. So the master account allows these crypto banks, okay, to transact and run the money through the system. Basically, what's happening and what happened in 2022. This is why they collapsed Celsius. This is why FTX collapsed. This is why all these exchanges are going bankrupt. They waited till everybody was over leveraged. It's nothing new under the sun. They collapsed them. They show that they're a fraud. They show you that they can't manage those systems, so you need regulation. Okay. Once they get regulation, there's going to be a monopoly of companies like Ripple and these big banks. They're going to monopolize these crypto companies. Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, Ripple are all and Coinbase, companies like that are going to have your checking account. They're also going to have your crypto account. So you're going to be able to do your banking, you're going to be able to do your crypto, you're going to be able to do your central bank digital currency all in one spot. That's exactly what's happening. Come back to this video in about 3 years from now. Okay. Now there's 3 ways you can get involved. I'm going to start speaking this truth. People like, you don't really talk. I don't talk a lot about my business. So I talk a lot about what I do in business, but I'm going to start talking more about how you can get involved. And I'm going to do it on the back end of the video. So if somebody wants to watch and jump off, I'm going to start to share with you what we actually do. Okay. So I have a Warrior Academy. We've had over 5,000 warriors worldwide. So what we decided to do is we're allowing people in 7 days for free. Just the intensity right now is so big. Now, here's the key. Once you come into the academy, 7 days for free. If you decide to stay, you'll start your membership. You'll be part of our community. There are 7 calls per week. When you get in, go to events, write down the events, get them on your calendar. Live calls. I have a call every single Thursday. There's my 120-day challenge. It's revamping on Monday. Get into the game with us on Monday. We take you through subconscious mind programming, goal setting, vision board creation. We take you through a whole systematic process and getting your shit together. We have over 120 courses. We have the 5 pillars of wealth. It's an ecosystem like nothing ever been created before. You see the Good Morning Crypto Show? They're all inside there. Okay, my whole team is inside there. That's the first way you can get involved. Okay. If you want to be part of our events, X Royalty launched yesterday. It was #1 on XRPL. I told you guys we're changing the game. It was #1 on XRPL yesterday. This is your way to get into our online virtual conferences. We do conferences as well and retreats and in person. So by purchasing an X Royalty, it gives you access. By having a 1X Royalty, it's going to give you access to our virtual conferences. Okay. It's also going to give you the opportunity to get into our private, intimate conferences and our retreats, and something very special as we move forward into the metaverse and Web3. Okay, so first opportunity is to get in 7 days for free if you want to be part of the community and have some like-minded people to take advantage of this next 18 months. It's so important. You can get into access to our private events, okay, or get the opportunity to get access and access by getting to our virtual events. And then also down below, you're going to see a link for private coaching. Now, I want to make it very clear. I launched my private coaching this year. We have, we're up to close to 80 interviews. We're still just apply if you want to get into it. I just want to share with you, it's a high ticket, okay, 5-figure investment. I'm taking you through 120 days, 4 months of coaching with me, okay? So don't apply for that unless you're serious. You're ready to absolutely change your life. It's not just generational wealth. It's subconscious mind programming, goal setting, fitness, how I do my fasting, everything, human design. It is a comprehensive program for 4 months of coaching that will change your life. Please don't apply for that unless you're very serious. You actually do an interview with my team, okay? So #1, 7 days for free in the academy. That's the first way to get in. You're in the academy and go through the 120 challenge, self-paced. There's all kinds of live events. #2 is X Royalty, which you can get into our virtual conferences. or get the opportunity to get into our private conferences. Number 3, you can coach me privately. So those will all be linked down below. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. On the back in these videos, I'll share with you how to get involved. That way that those who want to just watch the content don't get bothered with that. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.